professor ignored unsolved, who is known as the father of strategic management. Thus, his teaching and the research focused on strategic management related fields such as international business, finance, behavior, innovation, education, and so on. He positioned himself as the bridge linking academic and the real sectors. His experience in academic sector includes university council member, dean, conference chair, editorial board, reviewer, advisor, and so on. And in real sector, he used to be the managing director of Royal Well Industrials Public Company Limited, the CEO of World Weather Public Company Limited, the board director of Capital Engineering Network Public Company Limited, and others. All are listed companies in the stock exchange of Thailand. Now let's welcome Dr. Chen Yin-chen.
Yes, thank you for Angela, your kind introduction. So today I'm the first one, the guest speaker of this conference. And first of all, I want to say thank you to our organizer, the International Organization Innovation Association, and of course our team, the excellent team, working together to make this conference is possible. So this is the first speaker. So please allow me to share my screen. Yes, let me see, sorry. Okay, do you see my PowerPoint? Angela?
No, do not see.
Okay, sorry, so I got to try again. Let me see.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So today's topic I'm talking about is the innovative university. All right. So in fact, the innovative university is a continuous progressive in this direction, of course. But of course, that at this moment, under the COVID-19 pandemic, I think that this innovative university we're going to speed up due to the pandemic. And we believe that after the pandemic is going to be formed up with so-called new normal in the higher education teaching and the management. So I collect some ideas from some information, some sources of information, and add up my one idea to share with everyone the so-called innovative higher education. So Angela already introduced me, so I can skip up my self-introduction. But here you can see that I have two nationalities. In Thailand, my name is called Dong Sata Ajahn Dr. Chen Yin-chen. Okay, but in original, I'm Chen Chiu-shen Bo Shi. Okay, associate professor Dr. Chen Yin-chen. All right, so I start my point. First of all, I want to point out that the so-called innovative, or we even call it the disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation in higher education come from 2 points or 2 factors. These 2 factors drive this kind of innovation. First factor is the heavy tuition pressure. Because that especially happen in United States, the students, they have very heavy burden in the tuition. And then most of the United States, your college students, your parents don't really support your tuition. So they make a loan for your study. After they graduate, that's a heavy burden. They may spend 10 years, 20 years in your working in order to pay back this tuition loan. So under that one, we got to find some solution to decrease this kind of pressure. The second one, technology. So the advanced technology really drive this disruptive innovation, especially this online teaching. So before the COVID-19 happened, this is already ongoing with more and more this kind of technology come out. Even Zoom meeting, this kind of Zoom conference. Zoom conference, in fact, in 2019 our COVID-19 happened, but Zoom, this 2018, already be listed in the New York stock market. And they are lucky. Only after this for 1 year, COVID-19 happened. So Zoom, like stock price, go up so fast. So lastly, the online teaching technology. So many higher education institutions, they conduct your teaching online, and the Zoom is the most popular. All right, in addition to that, we have the soccer team. All right, many of these kind of programs include we are using now VOO, VBooth, or in fact, it's a Tencent conference. So this is that because online teaching, we can draw down our cost, our teaching cost. So we even can approach more students at the same time. So under this kind of technology, surely this kind of innovative is really start to speed up. So, but when we adopt this kind of online teaching, the other side effect coming is that because teaching decreases the value of higher education, we all know that the best values of higher education provided to students are credential or the credibility. Second one, the education. We call it education. Sorry, three of that. Education is an education quality. And also in this classroom interaction, in the interaction with your classmates, with your lectures, your professors, this come out kind of experience. It changes our experience, learn from each other. So this is the best three of the value that we can provide in the higher education. But when you change it to online teaching, maybe this kind of experience or this kind of interaction or the quality of education, maybe there's some kind of concern on that. And then change it to the credential. Because the online teaching, sometimes we don't really know whether our students, they really listen to our teaching or not, or they just turn on your computer, they do nothing. So that's another concern. Second point I want to point out there. Before we also talking about that, the higher education is one to create, to train the competency-based education, to be the competence-based education. So we want to train a good human beings is our major purpose. Then more and more we are changing to want to train our students have a good employability, or they are ready, work readiness, ready to work in the real sector. So that's important how to link or even how to teach our students enough working capability. So when they start to work, they got a job, they start to work, they can really work into the organization to contribute their knowledge, their ability to the business institution for what they are working for. So now gradually we change to the other objective. We think that employability may be more important. Surely we should base on the good human means. Then what we are facing now, so many people want to study in higher education, even a master and doctor degree, but many of these kind of curriculums, the graduates of this kind of curriculum, they cannot find a good job, even no job market for them. Now in the employment market is important. So now there's some kind of this kind of debate on that. Even in Harvard, even in Oxford, they start to cross up some kind of curriculum, especially humanities related, social science related curriculums. So they got cross up because graduates from this kind of curriculum couldn't find a job offer in USA, in Europe, or even what we can see in Taiwan, in Thailand. So now we are changing to our higher education, not in really only the basic training to research basis. We also change it to for the employment, to help them to find a job easily, to equip them, have enough capability to start to work from the first day they work in your job, in your companies. The third one, e-learning. Yes, this trend, especially out of year 2019, in this pandemic, e-learning trend, online education, this is a mega trend. No one can skip up that. Even in Thailand, our higher education, Thailand, Commission of Thailand, they talk to me in the future when you apply the new curriculum in our curriculum design, maybe some kind of mix up. We have online teaching, half of that, and on-site teaching, half of that. So if one take 3 credit hours class, about 45 hours. 45 hours. In this 45 hours, maybe in the beginning, 3 times 9 hours, or 4 times 9, 12 hours, students come to school, okay, to know each other, to know the requirements, to make a friend of each other. After that, change it to online teaching. And then midterm exam, we come back to school to take a midterm, and then back that. And before the end of the course, then we may go back to the school. So in the middle, we are all conducting teaching, online teaching, and then higher education in Thailand tell me that this is acceptable. They even foresee that this is going to be a trend, especially for higher education. Because the purpose of higher education, another purpose, we want to train our students, they can have their independent, individual own thinking. They know how to explore and find out the issues, okay, or the problems the society or human beings are facing. So they identify that, then they have enough a good trend or the research technology, so they can apply that research technology to explore the problem, the issues, and then go through their research process to find out some solution, some proposal to offer to our human beings, to our society, to our country. So let's go into the newly training trend we are facing in this way. So online teaching is possible because this kind of research technology, methodology, these things can be teaching online. Also, even this kind of how to train them, have your independent thinking, yes, online teaching also can be done. So for talking about higher education, online teaching is most suitable for the higher education. But of course, we're talking about the primary school, maybe it's going to be a different story. All right. So this is going to trend. So this even in America, in United States, some are already talking about no more online teaching, on-site teaching could be new normal. So some university in the United States, they already announced that they don't provide any on-site teaching anymore. So by doing so, they are gradually change. If gradually the employment market can accept the students, they get their degree through the totally online teaching, not on-site teaching, then at that time, on-site teaching may be going to go. Okay. Next one, open curriculum. And this also is a trend already. We know MOOC, MOOC, or in Taiwan, we say 慕课师. It's a massive open online courses. So this kind of trend, more and more professors conduct in this or university provide this kind of courses. They try to pick up the most charming or the best teacher, or then try to offer this kind of online teaching for free. Then they want to use that as their marketing instrument to attract students willing to apply your university. So this starts from the Dr. David Malan. So he's a Harvard computer science professor. He built this kind of distance learning empire. So he offered his course. He's so popular in Harvard University. So this computer science, he is so good to teach and make students understand how to apply this kind of computer science. So popular. So his class he changed to the free online teaching class. So more than 1,000 students join in his class when he's teaching. The other program we call TED, we all know, right? In Thailand, we also have TED. Some of our Chulalongkorn University professor also try to provide TED or podcast. So there's one another example that Lori Santos. She is one of very famous, popular teacher in Yale University. So he's teaching the history in the history department of Yale University. She's teaching the psychology and the good life. This course, this subject, and it's so popular. She even provide this course online for free. So this also make a trend, more and more program, it is so popular and easily for user-friendly to adopt to conduct your teaching online and efficiently. Digital textbook. So digital textbook, talking about that, now we provide textbook in ebook, especially under this pandemic, no choice. So I recall, I think back what I'm teaching in Chulalongkorn University, just about 3 years ago, the students still insist on the textbook, the paper textbook. But the professor want to low down their cost. They don't want to spend too much of printing cost. So the textbook we bought, wow, that's so expensive, 1,000 baht. A book is 1,000 baht from that Pearson, from Micro here. So expensive. So that's kind of expensive textbook. The professor tried to give us is an ebook, can low down the price by half. But students, they still insist on the paper textbook. So gradually, we had no choice. Because they even don't want to provide us only e-book. And the students, they also get used to e-book now. But unfortunately, I myself, I still prefer the paper textbook, but I have no choice. Now, in this semester, all our textbook are e-book. Even Pearson and Micro here, they try to provide this kind of teaching platform, like what we are using, Booth or Zoom, or this kind of free teaching platform to use in their textbook. And their textbook, there are so many content. So when they even give a video, they even give some kind of online test, online exam, case study. So they design a lot of this kind of very, very rich of the content as a lectures, teachers, we say the instrument. So under that, they try to welcome the professors, the university, use the platform, use the textbook, use everything they are designed in their platform to conduct the teaching. Unfortunately, I think they may a little bit back, one step back. So most of the university professors usually get used to, if no matter Zoom or Team or Woof, anyway, when they get used to that, they don't want to change. In Chulalongkorn University, we are using a Blackboard. So Blackboard is a classroom or teaching management system. And then in teaching, we used to use Zoom. Okay, we are using Zoom now. We used to teach in the Blackboard. We say arbitrary, right? I think that there's some function in Blackboard also can conduct online teaching. And also we used to try the team. Finally, we think the Zoom is the most functional. So here we use Booth, also very functional. So that's a trend. Surely we change the digital textbook in order to low down the cost, printing cost, also can be easily to pass to all the students and professors for the textbook they are using. Next one, I'm talking about the changing nature of faculty. So I foresee that being a faculty member, we are going to change maybe two kinds of faculty member. You're a professor, maybe we are teaching professor, and also the so-called research professor. So this is in fact in Taiwan, I noticed that in Taiwan, the university, we were classified into two kinds of university. One we call research university, the other we call teaching university. So people already think that research university is a really good quality of university because higher education should be based on the research. But in the future, I believe that when you talk about the first point, say that we got to train our students, their employability, okay, their ability to work. So in this concern, in this concept, gradually teaching also important in our higher education. So gradually we have two kinds of professor. So this kind of professor, one, I say that this kind of teaching professor, this kind of teaching professor, they may have a good outlook in, okay, good in speech, and then they really good in design your teaching material, no matter in PowerPoint or any kind of video, design all those things. So I think that they are going to have this kind of professor, teaching professor, we say a celebrity, movie star. So movie star teaching. All right. So these are internet celebrities. All right. The other one is a research professor. They are good in research. They are so smart. They have one team of professors follow him, or students, PhD students to follow him to conduct some kind of research in some kind of subject topics. So this is going to happen. So in the future of the higher education university, we may classify that adjunct mobile faculty. The faculty is not necessary to come to the school. You can be located in anywhere. All right. Take example, in Thailand, our university, we are using many professors from Taiwan, from China, from the other countries, because now we conduct our teaching online. So that's very easy to be arranged. All right. So adjunct mobile faculty members. They can be located everywhere. Even our research can be a research team, can be a collaborated research team. Okay, led by one research master. So this research master, his followers maybe from different university, different country all over the world. So it's going to happen in this way. So to me, I foresee that higher education will going to integrate. When we are talking about globalization, in the global integration, surely higher education is going to integrate also in this concern. Next point, new technology adoption. Yes, we are trying to adopt, we try to change our teaching following the new advanced technology. So we use data analysis, big data, now more and more big data bring in. Before we think that should be only for engineer students, science students. No, business students, they also apply. Even social science students, art students, humanistic students, you also apply this kind of big data analysis. Even when you conduct your research, big data is also one of the things you cannot miss it. Also, virtual augmented reality, VR or AR, we are going to apply in our teaching. So the students, they may online, but they online, you feel like they are in the classroom. Even we may take them, that example, in our business training, we may take them to which some company or some factory. Don't worry, we have this kind of VR, AR. So the students feel like they are in that factory. We are really working together in one team. Professor try to teach them, all right, what's the function of this machine, that machine. Yes, that's going to happen if we apply this kind of technology in our teaching. How about AI, artificial intelligence? Sure, AI is something we cannot miss. So now so many AI, and also I know our team, our professor, there are also some are experts in this AI, try to apply the AI, artificial intelligence in the teaching, in the research. Okay, we gradually now many university, even in Thailand, they all have their one they call the LMS, learning management systems. So each university, different university, maybe they use the same LMS by some kind of adjustment, okay, or some kind of refine in that system. So this system getting smarter and smarter. So this LMS going to be very popular. In this, they apply this LMS on as their teaching management system, online teaching management system, classroom management system. So they do have this. As I say, it's similar to Fast in Toronto University. They are using the blackboard system. Okay. Next one, new kinds of the certification and the degrees. So in the future, if we more and more online teaching, maybe a student, they don't really searching for the full degree. So maybe we can separate our degree, one bachelor degree, master degree, into small pieces. When students have time, they come to study, they get some piece, all right, gradually accumulate all the piece, and then form up a whole piece, then get the whole degree, or then we give them small degrees. So in this take example, we can mention as STEM is social, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, this kind of field of study, we gotta put in the humanities. So there's another term called STEAM, STEAM, that plus they insert art into this, because too much of science engineer, we still need the humanities, we need art training, we need a design training. Even in the Stanford University, all your students, need the training, had to study design, because they believe that talking about innovative, you must have good design concept, because design come from your right hand side of the brain. So they want to train that, not only train the logic, not train the reason, rationale only. All right. So creativity, innovative come from design ideas. So beauty is something we gotta train our students. So they also add this kind of humanities into the science, technology, engineer, mathematics teaching, nano degree. So the new degrees they call nano degrees, small degrees. And this kind of degree, this kind of curriculum program, we call it a skill-based educational credential program. So we'll teach them the skill, some kind of skill, employment skill, working skill. All right. So we break down this kind of program into a small program, nano degree program. The other concept called evergreen degree. So evergreen degree, talking about that, these degrees are we're talking about lifelong learning. So lifelong learning is anytime you can come back. So maybe at the age 50, 60, you still come back to recharge. Okay, to recharge yourself, to pick up a new technical knowledge, new concept, new product. All right, they are just introduced. So this kind of evergreen degree, we give them this degree, then every time we welcome them to come back to recharge, Okay, so in this one, we will keep updating the certificates and the degree over time. Next one, new pedagogies. So this kind of pedagogies, we are based on the project-based learning. So maybe project by project or some kind of skill-based, training-based, project-based, this kind of learning, teaching program, or inquiry-based learning. That in this learning, that's just all the students, they come back, there are a lot of questions during your job, your work, or they want to learn something new. So they have their inquiry, they have demand. So we try to design our program, our curriculum to meet their demand. So they come back, all right, professor of my university, I want to learn this. I want to understand this. Okay, great. We design this kind of inquiry-based learning program. You come back, we may give you just 1 week teaching, then teach you everything you want to learn. Even under this kind of evergreen degree concept, you may pay your tuition once, but we give you 10 times, 20 times, you can come back to learn for free. So this kind of design concept for the university operation is going to be more and more to come out, I'm sure. Scenario-based learning. So scenario-based, that we may come back, we design our teaching based on scenario. If under this scenario, what you are going to do? Okay, so scenario to teach them. And the more this kind of new pedagogies is going to introduced in this higher education teaching. Next one, I'm talking about international accreditation. So this kind of accreditation, we are going to happen like AACSB now is very popular in Taiwan. In Thailand, more and more university also pay your attention to this AACSB. This is the American Association for the College Student. Okay, start a school of business, college school of business. So this kind of association, they accredit you. All right, they have just standard curriculum design. So in Thailand at this moment, only Chulalongkorn University, NIDA, and the same Mahidol University, at Thammasat University, got this ASSB. So this is going to something to on behalf the quality of your education. So when we receive the ASSB, wow, we are so happy. We make it an announcement, it's an advertisement in Thailand to tell all the Thai people say that Chulalongkorn is the only qualified university and accredited by ASSB. What's the benefit of that? Because once you are accredited by ASSB, it means that your quality, your teaching standard up to ASSB, so easy for you to talking about discuss an exchange program with the overseas university, with the American university, with the other university. They are all being the member of ASSB. So easy for this kind of student exchange, even professor exchange. So in Europe, they also increase this kind of curriculum accreditation program. So when the university get ASSB increase even it pass, wow, that's one thing they try to claim to all the students. Yes, Zula Business School, we are ASSB, increase it pass accredited to prove the quality. So I believe that more and more university from the other country or even the developing country, they have no choice. Gradually, they got to move into this next step to apply for this kind of international accreditation. So in engineer, we also IEE, International Engineer Education, this kind of accreditation. How about the other one, talking about global university ranking or world ranking? So more and more university also looking for this kind of world ranking. So now the most popular, there's the so-called THE, Times Higher Education World Rankings, Global University Ranking, also QS ranking or US News, this kind of ranking. So yesterday, I think just yesterday, the THE just announced their new global university ranking. And the interesting that is because they are using different criteria. So the result ranking are kind of different. In the QS ranking, Chulalongkorn University got very good ranking. They are in the top 100 of the academic reputation. And then the good quality top university, global top university, Chulalongkorn ranked about 225. All right, quite nice. But in the THE ranking, Chulalongkorn is not number one in Thailand, no? They are ranked on the number 3 or 4. Interesting, not interesting. That's a very, very interesting thing. Anyway, you have no choice. More and more university, you apply to be evaluated in order to be listed in this university ranking list. And it's better they can be in the list, one of the even top 1,000, top 2,000, no matter just my university name appear in a list, then I'm somebody. My university is some kind of, maybe you can create as one of good university globally. All right, I have two more things. Alliance, maybe the higher education is good, got to looking for the alliance. You got to align, as I said, integration is going to happen. It's happening already. M&A, what we are using in the business sector, you may apply in this merger and acquisition to merge more and more universities. Finally, who knows, maybe every country, your number one university each country, they may align together as a team A1, all right, or number one associated university. So by doing so, they can protect their each benefit. So they want to maintain their situation, the status as the number one in that country. All right, maybe you're gonna make your university group getting bigger and bigger by M&A. So by doing so, when the scale, so we always say that when you get that scale, we can reach your economic scale, you can lower down your cost. So even conduct teaching online, so that cost is going to be very minimal if your scale getting very large. Also, you got to consider this kind of vertical and horizontal integration. So what I noticed that in China, there are many companies, they are large, big group of companies try to take over to buy some education, some universities. So that's going to integrate. It's an upstream integration, vertical upstream integration. So from companies go up to take over the university. So finally integrate totally integrated. So they train their students. So they give the job to their student, the graduate or their student. All right. So I think that it's also going to be the mega trend. So our higher education, we also design how to meet this kind of mega trend. All right. Last but not the least, I want to share with everyone talking about our AIS, Asia Innovative School. So in this Asia Innovative School, first one, I got to talking about Assumption University Thailand. This is the Catholic University. This is the oldest, largest international university of Thailand. They are the first university to conduct all the teaching in English. So in the beginning, there are so many parents. They want their students, their kids have a good English skill, so they send their kids go to study in Assumption University. So in Thailand, they are viewed as a luxury university, high class, high society, like in Thai people like to say high soul, this kind of university. Okay, surely their tuition is higher. Then this university also very innovative. Well, our AIs is under this university, under your graduate study, graduate school. So they start to foresee that, to accept that the so-called international university doesn't mean that only conduct your teaching in English, because there are another one important factors is Chinese. Mean China, they already take over about 18% of the global GDP. The world GDP, 18% belong to China, contributed by China. America maybe contribute another 23, 24%. All right. Anyway, these two countries are the most important, we say, like a superpowers. All right. So Chinese is so important. Even in Thailand, many kids, they change it to study Chinese. They understand that only good in English not enough. You still have to speak Chinese. So that's the trend come in. So Assumption University accept we conduct our teaching kind bilingual. So bilingual teaching is that some subject teaching in English, some subject teaching in Chinese. Okay, so our AIS is under this bilingual teaching program. So we aim at to recruit a Chinese student come to study in Thailand in Assumption University under our AIS. So under our Asia Innovative School, you can study with us this kind of bilingual. So there's some subject teaching in Chinese, so you are easier for you to understand. So you have more confidence to finish, okay, to complete your study. Some you are in English. We also conduct this kind of e-learning mode. All right, this is also in our curriculum. We can conduct all the teaching, all subject, all course in e-learning, but we also in class mode. We even can mix up the hybrid, okay, e-learning mode plus in class mode. So for the Assumption University, they are already doing. So this is a digital track. The teaching, we are arrange planning, we call block teaching. So the block teaching that we teach that maybe 1 month, one subject, or 2 weeks, one subject. So in this block teaching and also revolving teaching, so every month when new course come up, new subject come out. So students, they can start up your studying with us in any month. Okay, so I also want to share with you what's the college I'm under called GSBATM. Oh, so long. So it's a graduate study of business administration and advanced technology management. So they very focus on the technology, Assumption University. So we say advanced technology management. Even we have some curriculum called Teaching and the Technology is a master and a PhD program. Teaching and technology, not only traditional education teaching. We think that we want you to apply the technology, advanced technology into your teaching to improve your teaching quality, increase your teaching effectiveness. All right, we also ITM, Innovation, Technology, and Management. You see, so the curriculum, the name is not so traditional. Usually we just have business administration, but he says innovative technology management, or TEM, technology, education, and management. So these are our curriculum, PhD, TEM, PhD, ITM. So this can see that this kind of innovative approach of Assumption University. And lucky, fortunately, our AIS is under Assumption University. So our curriculum also very innovative. We also believe that our teaching is going to be very innovative. We have a new BBA program. This is a 3 years program, undergraduate program, approved by Higher Education Thailand. And this is the first program, undergraduate program, approved by Higher Education Thailand, only 3 years. Usually in Thailand, they require 4 years. So in this program called DDI, Digital Design and Innovation. Wow, BBA DDI. You see, so they pay much attention in this kind of digital design, teaching, technology, innovation. So we welcome the student. If you are interested, especially a Chinese student, if you are interested in Assumption University, interested in study in Thailand, I can tell you AIS Assumption University is one of your best choice. Sorry, I think I used a little bit more time off, then first the conference allocated to me 20 minutes. Now it's 8:42. Sorry, I got to say thank you for your listening, for your attention. So I got to give you back to our Angela, our controller, Angela. Sorry for that, and thank you for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chen. Thank you very much for your wonderful speech. So, okay, right now. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint. Okay, thank you very much. And our next keynote speaker is Dr. Carl Menegela. Okay, Dr. Carl Menegela has already recorded the video, so let's watch the recorded video right now.
I would like to thank you for the opportunity to present at the International Conference on Globalization and Innovation. The theme of my presentation is Global Chinese Education. In particular, I'd like to share with you the construction and rationale behind the education philosophy of Mandarin International School. My name is Carl Menegela, and I've been involved in education for about 40 years in a variety of contexts. I started as a classroom teacher. I got involved in curriculum design, I've been an executive coach, and been a school administrator and a leader in Australia, Singapore, England, and the US. And for the last 10 years, I've been here in Bangkok, Thailand. I believe in leading by example, and I consider myself a lifelong learner. Over the years, I've returned to university on several occasions and graduated with other degrees in education, management, commerce, applied science, and most recently, I've been my PhD in management science. Now, I'll be giving you contextual background, focus on China and its place in the educational landscape. I'll be introducing Mandarin International School and talking about our rationale behind our choice of curriculums. Discussing a bit about our blending and immersion, our foundation and structure here. Looking at a compare and contrast, and then countering that with an adaptive adoptive model. And lastly, sharing you our philosophy statement for Mandarin International School. So first of all, I'd like to do a bit of a reality check. There are 1.35 billion people speaking English as their first or second language. There are 1.12 billion people speaking Mandarin as their first or second language. With more than 1.4 billion people, China is the most populous country on earth. Speaking about the world GDP is $92 trillion, of which the US accounts for 22% and China accounts for 15%. So between the two of them, almost 40% of the world's GDP. China ranks number 1 and the US number 7 in natural resources. China ranks number 1 and the US number 2 as far as exports are concerned. So it's easy for me to see, and I believe all of us can see the importance of Mandarin and English as the two most important languages, but also the most important economies and natural resources. So in the future, for entrepreneurs to be successful, they need to be adept, proficient, and fluent, I believe, in these two languages, Mandarin and English. So let's look at China's education system. So China outperforms the PISA program for international student success in reading, maths, and science. In 2018, it was ranked number 1 in the world. Now, Chinese education is also tailored for Chinese people. So there is a difference in people, but the education system as it is obviously works. Let's change our focus and zoom in from the China v. USA education. First glance, we can see there are some similar trends repeating themselves over and over. However, upon closer scrutiny, we can startling results. China continues to outperform USA in reading. It certainly outperforms USA in the areas of mathematics. In fact, the gap there is so large that it must be a major concern to US education policy makers. Likewise, China continues to outperform USA in the areas of science. Mandarin, we decided we needed a curriculum which could marry together that Chinese curriculum, one that was robust and rigorous, and one that had a similar kind of a structure. So we decided to further afield to look at the curriculums of Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the US, and the UK. We decided upon the UK national curriculum. It is a robust. These are rigorous curriculum with breadth and depth of subject, and it has a very good scope and features. We decided this was the curriculum we could use hand in hand with our Mandarin curriculum, bring them together. It served the needs of our students, was something you could plan to, and it already had a reputation. Let's take a moment to look at Mandarin school. We're not a bilingual school in the traditional sense of the word. We have two languages operating together. But rather than being in parallel, they're actually interwoven with each other. So they're not discrete language classes, it's an idea of blending and immersion. So the children do Mandarin, they do it in a variety of contexts, and we believe that having this variety gives them the chance to actually understand the nuances, local terms, really have a deeper understanding of language. Same in English, we have the English language also being used in other subjects. So we're looking for an English language curriculum, and we actually decided to go with a national curriculum. The reason for that is that even though there's other English language curriculums, such as Australia or the US, the UK national curriculum falls more in line with the same structure as the Chinese curriculum, at the same rhythm. They're both scalable, they both have scopes and sequences. The religious belief is better than the US curriculum core. So we have the UK national curriculum, and then we have the Chinese school-based. So earlier, really this idea of the interwoven. So in Mandarin language, students obviously study language, but also applying science, technology, engineering, art, and math. In the English field, there's language, math, science, geography, social studies, history, art, PE, and music. And so there's this context, technical framework that they have of the language, where you use it in a variety of forms. So, for example, the word sharp. In English, it might mean something that has a fine blade, but in music, it's talking about a note being higher than another note, sharp. So, getting that use of the word, it requires a student to have that textual connection to it. So, we believe that's a lot stronger for the language of the future. So the structure of our school, we have a Chinese curriculum, we have a UK national curriculum, we have our vision and mission, and we have the contextual immersion. Under that, we have the IB learner profile. I believe that's a really good foundation for our students as far as attitudes and characters we want them to have. We want them to be knowledgeable, we want them to be risk takers, we want them to be principled, we want them to be caring, reflective, we want them balanced. Thinkers, open-minded, and inquiring. So we believe that that lays the bedrock to build our. So I was looking at an article recently trying to compare the Chinese education system with the US education system, and often in a compare and contrast more about the agenda underlying that. So authors are often trying to show a superior and inferior relationship rather than a true compare and contrast. The author of this say that the emphasis on memorization, the emphasis in the US is on innovation. Work style in China is more collaborative, the US more independent. Ways of learning were teaching guided, whereas it's student-led. The assessment, this author would argue, was based in China based on test scores, while in the US was on coursework. The extracurricular activities were China preparing for tests, while in the US it was more about their interests. The authors family education be more restraining, more encouraging this. That's fine as a compare and contrast, but I don't think this is a really accurate. I'd like to take a second to talk about one of my heroes, Karl Popper. And Karl Popper posited the falsification principle. So he would argue that a lot of researchers and scientists try to prove their fundamental theory, and they're trying to gather evidence to support it. And so in the case of swans, for example, or a scientist can say, I believe all swans are white. There's a white swan, therefore it must be true. There's another white swan, so it shows that the theory is true. Karl Popper would have us instead try and disprove that theory. He would argue that instead of trying to find as many white swans, and see if there are any other swans. Lo and behold, in Western Australia, which is where I've lived most of my life, our state flag has a black swan, and black swans are unique to Western Australia. So the theory of all swans are white is no longer a truth, no longer valid. There are some swans that are black. So I think the same thing with compare and contrast. We try to gather information to try and prove superior or inferior. Instead of that, I believe the better is to adapt to adopt. The Mandarin International School, rather than saying they do this, they do that, instead of that, we're trying to say, let's combine the best of both. Right? So we're trying to find a way to adapt and adopt two different cultures. We understand there are different people and different cultural norms and different ways of communicating, but we can actually have them both together. The table of the author had memorization versus innovation. Well, I'd argue that a lot of innovation actually lends itself and is based on previous memorization. For example, if you look at the robotic operating device, it's still based on the doctor's previous knowledge, physiology and anatomy, and all of those things they learned, he or she learned as a teacher, with which then to make the robotic device that new innovation. Without the previous knowledge, there's nothing to base the operation of the new device upon. So I don't think it's a matter of versus. I think it's a matter of let's have memorization and innovation. Yeah. If they've been looking at collaborative versus independent, a lot of people now argue that our children need to have team skills, need to have communication skills. And if it's done properly, even when you're in the team, you need to acknowledge, respect, and answer to the fact that everyone is individual. They bring their own attributes, their own skills and knowledge, their own talents. And so even though they're a team, it's still made up of individuals who are working independently and for a common purpose. If you look at teacher guided versus student led, I don't think these are disparate. I think that, you have both of them coming together. And I've spent many years in the classroom. And I know that even when a student believes he or she is doing their own inquiry, in the background, the teacher's there to guide, to resource, to facilitate, to cajole, to motivate, sometimes to get them back on track. And it's done very discreetly. And so rather than say the teacher guided versus student led, I actually believe we have more of a and at times. So it's teacher guided and at times student led. Assessment. We know that our students will be forced to have standardized tests in their future. They'll be tested in the high schools, they'll be doing standardized tests in the colleges, they'll be doing standardized tests within subject areas. But not just doing the standardized summative tests, we also believe in formative assessment. This gives children a chance to get their grades, work in project-based learning activities, forms rather than just an examination. Forms where there's a multiple choice or there's an essay, there's application experiments. So there's a variety of assessments. And rather than just having one size fits all, which doesn't work, we believe in having opportunities for children to have their preferred learning styles. The extracurricular, the author would argue that in China, engaged in preparation for tests, and in the West, we're engaged in leisure pursuits. Well, that's actually not true. Look at this picture here. You see this Caucasian boy doing homework and an Asian boy playing baseball. And I've spent many, many years in Asia. I would argue the typical family here, much as they, and it seems to be
再
in
点一下
all
连接。
areas, not just academic, but also interest-based, sporting, for example. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to have integrity and person that need to be proposed in academic pursuits for children, their learning styles. Extracurricular, the author would argue that engaged in preparation for tests, and in the West, people are engaged in leisure pursuits. Well, that's actually not true. Look at this picture here. You see this Caucasian boy doing homework and an Asian boy playing baseball. And I've spent many, many years in Asia. I would argue the typical family here, as much as they can, and it seems to be in all endeavours, not just academic, but also interest-based, sporting, for example, or arts, as well as the academic pursuits after school. So again, we run the risk of having stereotypes that can change the lens of the glasses we're looking through. Very important. So all of that comes together into our philosophy. The Mandarin International, we respect each student's views, We want them to be innovative thinkers. We want them to have a young and entrepreneurial mindset. And this is really important. Going back to the opening statement of the future entrepreneurs will need to be proficient, fluent in Mandarin and English. And so the idea of entrepreneurship is actually inculcated throughout our from a very early age. We want them to be team players and acknowledge the importance of that. We want them to be self-disciplined and have integrity and perseverance. We don't want them giving up the first hurdle because they will encounter hurdles and barriers. We want them to have enough perseverance and fortitude to get themselves back up. Look at that wall or barrier again and say, well, do I climb over it? Do I tunnel under it? Do I walk around it? Rather than just turning their back. We want them to be open-minded and knowledgeable. We want them to care for others and show empathy. We believe that all of these things together result in a person who's really well equipped for that uncertain future. They have a vision and mission, and it's based on 3 to-be statements. We want to be a modern school, bringing the best of Western education philosophy. We believe that's a prerequisite to develop 21st century skills. We want to be professional leaders in our own right as a school, but also with our teachers. We want to build an international community in a nurturing environment. We have a beautiful campus here. It really is a place for learning and a place to feel a sense of belonging. So again, thank you for allowing me the chance to attend this conference. I welcome feedback. I would love if you're in Bangkok to come and visit us on campus and have a look at our teaching and learning. The COVID pandemic has created a lot of change for a lot of people, so a lot of our classes at the moment are online. We're looking forward to when campuses can reopen. And again, we have sound children in our schools. So thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to the next conference.
Okay, thank you very much for Carl's speech. And there you can see from this slide that there are some such as you can, if you have something want to do exchange with Dr. Carl Maganella, you can maybe email him or telephone him or you can use okay, maybe Line or WeChat and WhatsApps. Okay, and I'm sorry that's something part of from the internet. I'm very sorry. Okay, and the next. Okay, and our next keynote speaker is Professor Arthur Shaw. Okay, Arthur Shaw is a founder of a Top Boss International Corporation. Arthur has over 40 years of experience in domestic and international marketing of fast-moving goods, telecommunication equipment, operation of e-commerce and e-learning business. His business activities span over Great China, Japan, Southeast Asia, North and Latin America. Arthur received his MBA degree in Taiwan Zhengzhi University. Over the past 20 years, his research focused on business game, the simularized behavior of a market affected by the business decision of competing firms and the behavior of the consumers, particularly in the relationship of distribution channels and introduction of innovation to markets. Currently, he is also engaged in teaching at universities and corporate training. Also, he believes that we can change the world through meaningful planning. Okay, now let's welcome Professor Arthur Shaw. And Arthur has already recorded the video, so now let's watch the video.
Business simulation game provides training of practical skills in the management of business operations. The application-oriented and competence-based teaching method used in business simulation game significantly enhances the learning experience of university students as well as working professionals, effectively drawing out their unique talents. Today's global business environment is defined by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Education professionals throughout the world also face many unforeseen new challenges because of the pandemic. Advanced technology of business simulation game will shape the learning environment in Asia. Business simulation game was developed after World War II, mainly inspired by the successful operations of the American and German military staff work during that period. Business simulation game could well be described as a war room concept. From the beginning to the present, board game and computer game are the two different forms of continuous development of business simulation game. My speech will mainly focus on the development of computer game. Business simulation game is widely used in topics such as strategy, marketing, finance, accounting, logistics, and information management. The effectiveness of teaching with business simulation game has been proven by many famous institutions globally as the best teaching method compared with lectures, multimedia, case study, and so on. Business simulation game creates a competitive environment and is an enjoyable way of learning the core business concepts. It allows learners to experiment with business strategies, test business ideas, and understand the consequences of their actions in a virtual business environment. As students apply their theoretical knowledge playing the game, they learn to make strategic and tactical business decisions. They develop critical skills that are vital to the success in today's business world. Putting the learners in fairly realistic market situations to help them learn essential business concepts and business skills is the primary reason for learning through business simulation game. The simulation game requires the students to study the economic conditions as well as the competitors. It also requires them to take strategic actions in the operations of the business, observe the results, and modify the strategic action so as to stay in the competition and win. Immersive learning and action learning are the two important elements in advanced teaching methodology. The most important lessons are learned by doing. At the university level, business simulation game program is offered in both undergraduate and graduate courses for students who have not yet entered the workforce. For corporate training, business simulation game provides state-of-the-art program for human capital management. The Asian economy is becoming a more important contributor to the global economy. Yet, education in management is still far behind other developed regions of the world. What are the new challenges that confront the education and learning in management? First, the COVID-19 pandemic changes our lives. It also changes the learning environment and learning methods. The challenge is, how can we transfer the enthusiasm in learning that was originally built into group discussions or even heated debates in the classroom to online learning? Although Zoom, Microsoft, Google, and many application providers have quickly introduced online solutions, the bottleneck exists between teachers and students, and usually it is more difficult for teachers and students to adapt to this change. Second, with rapid changes in IT technology, how can we keep up with the trend and bring better learning results to the learners? Third, how can we use new technology to help students in campus without multicultural backgrounds to learn how can we use new technology to help our society and the enterprises to deal with a multicultural learning environment to advance and improve. Last, how can we make better use of the internet to cover wide area and build learner bases? Populous countries like China and Indonesia, they hope to capitalize the country's best teaching resources to serve more citizens in a more effective and lower cost way. And there are more challenges. I will now address some advanced education technologies that impact business simulation game. First, massive open online courses, MOOCs. In recent years, the success of massive open online courses, or MOOCs, has encouraged further innovations in education technology. For example, through the use of Learning Management System, LMS, or Learning Content Management System, LCMS. The Shareable Content Object Reference Model, or SCORM, as an industry standard, makes online courses even more effective for learners to learn in the best way possible by emphasizing don't reinvent the wheel. In the Chinese-speaking education market, a lot of new technologies, which were inspired by the United States in the early days, are adopted through localization and re-innovation. Many interesting and effective applications are hugely popular. A good example in China is MOOCs. The content diversification, content representativeness, learning community management, and technology development all serve as good references for other Asian countries. Besides MOOCs, there are also other new technologies which are used in business learning. Here, I would like to highlight their application in business simulation game. These new technologies provide better solutions than the old traditional way to overcome the challenges that confront our education and learning. And from the COVID pandemic, the volatile, certain complex and ambiguous business environment, multicultural nature of business learning, and the widespread use of the internet. These technologies include web applications, artificial intelligence or AI, augmented reality or AR, virtual reality or VR, applications or apps, business intelligence or BI, and so on. Here, I would like to share with you my experience with these new technologies. Artificial intelligence or AI, including deep learning and machine learning, can be used for quiz, Q&A, FAQ, or online tutor, and is easy to adopt. Artificial intelligence can facilitate new development or fine-tuning of the business simulation game in terms of algorithm design. Here is the business game-based learning object model or Bloom approach that I would like to share with you. As depicted in Figure 1, the business game-based learning object model approach is implemented in a 6-step process to create a simulation game system through collaborative work among developing teams with different backgrounds. Adopting artificial intelligence in each step for evaluation purposes and minimize development costs. Risks may occur in human communication or other related problems. Augmented reality and virtual reality can enrich learning experience, especially for learners who are not serious about studying. You can see in this picture what we did in Guangzhou City, China, to let the mentor teach the apprentice automobile repair by using augmented reality smart glasses. Another case is a virtual reality application on teaching merchandising in chain store business, which has been adopted in several Taiwanese university laboratories. Applications or apps, be it mobile apps and cross-platform apps, are the indispensable ways of teaching now. The responsive web design format will be a better choice, as you have strong financial support. Business intelligence is widely used in many industries, and it is an absolutely necessary element in business simulation games. Today, learners do not come only to learn complex calculations, but more importantly, they learn to make better judgments on the results calculated by students. We can refer to various business intelligence applications from Microsoft, SAP, or Oracle. Management dashboard is one specific way in the presentation of business intelligence. Big data, especially online analytical processing, is a powerful technology for data discovery, including report reviewing, complex analytical calculations, and predictive what-if scenario planning. Online analytical processing is a great help to the data collection and analysis in business simulation games. These technologies are also relatively easy to obtain. So far, I have mentioned the application of some new technology in business simulation games. Next, from the perspective of teaching, how can business simulation game as an education technology be applied to the teaching of courses? First example, curriculum design. Let me use a course from a university in Hong Kong. This is a 13-week course with 36 university students studying the subject operation management. Because of the pandemic, all classes are conducted online. Zoom is the teaching platform, and MBS is the business simulation game platform used to conduct the course. The contents of this 13-week intensive learning include lectures, group discussions, business simulation game, presentations, and assessments, which are all conducted around the game. Throughout the semester, the business simulation game is open 24 hours a day, which greatly improves students' willingness to participate. Individual and groups of students can always study and discuss, play the game, whether they are in the online class or outside of class. The students are in Hong Kong as well as regions outside of Hong Kong. The teacher guides the students step by step to understand the business simulation game and then combines the teaching of logistics, finance, operation management, and strategy into the game. Final teaching results were highly appraised and affirmed by teachers and students. A grand regional competition will be held in Hong Kong on June 19 this year. Representatives from Hong Kong government, associations, and all Hong Kong universities will be present at the event, where 200 participating students in Hong Kong and overseas will join the competition via the Zoom and MBS business simulation game platform. Another example is wide area and very large number of game participants. For a populous country like China, business simulation game participants are in very large numbers. The government hopes to popularize entrepreneurship and management education, and therefore encourages activities involving hundreds of thousands of students. In the past, competitions were held on site. With the pandemic, now it must be hosted as an online event. This will be a huge challenge. This kind of competition usually takes 3 months to a year to complete. At this time, community-based technologies such as instant messaging, short videos, long videos, forums, microcourses, and online customer service are already part of daily life. Various web applications, including cloud services, decentralized storage, and backup services are used everywhere. E-commerce and online community technology must be integrated. We will face more challenges and opportunities as education technology evolves further. I hope to share more about our experience with you and work together with you to face these new challenges and opportunities. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much for Professor Xiao's speech.